Hello, this is Blood Bowl Grud, and I'm now about to play a game of Blood Bowl 3. It's June 2021. We have the extra exciting beta. So what I thought I'd do is I'd create a team, just a basic one. We'll go with Elven Union because then I can show you a little bit about. Oh, you've just seen how bad my typing is there. You'll be able to get an idea of what's going on. So you can use manual, which means you can create from scratch. I've picked balanced because it just auto creates the team. Now my PC is not the best in the world, so you will see the little running goblin, and here you can see the team, but what we're going to do is we are going to customize it slightly. We could have the slightly saucy elven ladies, but we'll go for the trumpet player. You can also select the different coaches that you have, which is quite important, and we'll get to that in a bit. You can also pick the stadium. There is no elf pitch here, but I would think that a Elven Union pitch would be lovely. So let's see what we can do. We've got the old running goblin there. We can pick the emblem of the team. Let's rotate him, and right on the catcher you can actually see whereabouts the symbol appears in the middle of his shoulders. You can pick the pattern that appears on the armour. It will catch up in a moment, I promise you. And then we can pick the various different colours that we have. Each of the different teams appears to have different bits that you can change. Right. It is a little bit fussy here. Exactly how you select the colours. We'll see what we can do though. Yep, and as you can probably tell, I'm doing a bit of filling. So we'll go back there. Here we go. This is exactly what you signed up for, isn't it? Just watching somebody that's obviously not great with computers mess about. Let's go for red and white, and how about a green? Let's see whether we can find a decent green for you. No, there is a million different colours. Slightly festive. There we go. Not quite the holly green I wanted, but all is good. So we've set up those bits and pieces. We've got our team. We will play against the AI, and you can see that we've got the teams that I've created there at the top, and then the default teams are the auto-built ones. So we're playing against the Ostermark Dukes, an Imperial Nobility team, and this will be the first time I've actually played a full match, so you will be watching along with me playing, and I'll give you some idea of what's going on. So if you remember, we went for a green, red and white uniform, and you can see the red, white and green all over the place with the little green trim everywhere. Not quite as Christmassy as I wanted, but hopefully in the finished version it'll be a bit more flexible. We've got the advertising hoardings, and we've got various other bits and pieces around the arena. I'm sure that they will make a bit more sense soon. And the good old apothecary tent behind Griff there. This is the lineup that you get, and a lovely little oil painting of the teams about to do battle. So we've got the weather, a fan factor summary, and we've also chosen our inducements that you do once the game has kind of started, rather than Blood Bowl 2 where you do it prior. And you can see in the middle of the screen that little wheel. I'm going to adjust a couple of the settings here. I'm going to put the grid on and take the tackle zones off. Yeah, I'm all ready to go. Here we go, kickoff event. So I think that should have been more of a didn't quite make it touchback. Nothing too obvious to tell me it's a touchback, but never mind. We do have the, let's have a look, a couple of pushes there. You'll see the further that we play, the wheel that appears in the middle of the screen, giving you a choice of dice or re-rolling, etc. Little bit strange. Let's see whether we can block him out of his socks to give you an idea of what's going on. Yeah, we'll go with the push there. It's a blitz. You can see the lightning above him, and you will also get to witness just how terrible I am at playing Blood Bowl as well. So it's got a lovely mop of white hair. The camera does not perhaps move as nicely as it does in Blood Bowl 2, and it keeps resetting to a slightly bizarre camera angle. But let's cage up as much as an Elven Union team can cage up. Right. Do I need to use a reroll?
A good time to hand off the ball.
Okay, I have used a reroll. It wasn't really that obvious what was going on. Now you can see at the top of the screen there's the bonus time, and each team has been given 7.5 minutes. Right, better choose that push there, of additional time to use throughout the entire game. So you can take your time, as you can see that I have. I've run out of time myself, but everything comes off the 7.5 minutes, so it's not 7.5 minutes per turn, but it does just give you a little bit of extra thinking time. Whether this is a feature that will be in the end version of the game, I'm not quite sure. Right, let's see what the Imperial Nobility have got for me. A nice big line. Right. Oh. So, I got a turnover. He could have re-rolled, I think, but he decided not to. He's standing firm, so I can't quite move him along the bus. Let's see. Defender stumbles. It is going to take me a little while to get my head around this. I've been playing during lockdown far too much Blood Bowl 2, and therefore it is noticeably different to Blood Bowl 3, and it's taking a little bit of getting used to. For instance, I knew I needed the POW. The fact it says defender down suddenly makes me think, right, okay, so hang on, I'm the attacker, he's the defender, I need to focus more. That's always been true of me. I do need to focus slightly more, especially when playing Blood Bowl. So we will have a bit of a run and we will see what we can do. Oh, we've handed it off, and he's going all the way over there. You could see the go for it warning triangles. Not sure I'm a massive fan of the health and safety style warning signs, but it is what it is. I would say it seems a little bit incongruous with the medieval settings, but I can't play Blood Bowl that well, but I can use words like incongruous, I think. Right, let's get this camera sorted, and we'll see whether we can tie any of these people up. We'll try and stop him from standing up. What happened there? Oh, a push. Right. On the side of the pitch. That'll do nicely. And it's time for the Imperial Nobility. Let's see what they've got. Now, if you have played too much Blood Bowl 2, you'll know that if you're playing against the AI like what I is, oh, KO, not a fan of that, then one of the noticeable things is the fact that the AI team gets stuck in straight away. Occasionally with Blood Bowl 2, it does like to think about its moves for a good minute and a half, even 2 minutes before the opposition team decides to do anything. But we do appear to be doing relatively well in regards to the AI getting its socks on. Right. Oh, I like that. That looked nice. Okie dokie. So that was the angry crowd. Oh, and there's a nice massive blood splatter down the side of the pitch as well. Let's see whether we can do that again. Oh, here they go. Orc, human and dwarf, I think. And another massive blood splat. In fact, there are blood splats all over the pitch, and if they stay there for the game, it would be quite nice if they stayed there all the time. A nice big gory game of Blood Bowl. That's what we like. Now, ball on the floor. 3 humans, 4 humans, 1 elf. Let's see whether he can pick it up. He can't. And it's bouncing all over the place. Now, did he use a reroll in that turn? I really should pay more attention. But it now looks like it'll be quite a good idea to beat up some more nobility. Mathematically speaking, I should have less removals, but then again, the AI does seem to like putting players along the outside of the pitch. So I can't really argue with that. I accidentally dodged, but got away with it. Why am I so close? Why is the camera there? Not really certain. Let's get ready in case things go a bit pear-shaped. once again, it's the camera angle is quite surreal. This kind of strange following camera. Right, where have my players gone? It does like that blood splatter down the side, doesn't it? Let's have a look. I think. Let's do it. And yep, I've picked it up. It's there. Right, little side-on view of the dice. It's a touchdown. Quite a big fan of that. Oh, we'll do a bit of a cartwheel and oh, that must be my cheerleader. Right. I do like this customization section. That's my team. There's the Dukes. Right, okay. So, a little bit earlier on, we got rid of the tackle zones and added the grid. So that's quite fine. There's the kickoff result for us. And of course, we're kicking to them. Now, we are more than halfway through the first half, and I think we've been playing for about 10 minutes. So it does look like Blood Bowl 3 will be a slightly quicker game, which does mean that if you can play a game in an hour, if people get the skates on, that would be quite nice. Because I have played games, NAF matches, in various tournaments in Blood Bowl 2, and they start verging on the 2-hour mark, and things happen. I have to help put the kids to bed, and all of a sudden I'm in everybody's bad books because I'm too busy playing Blood Bowl. So can I pick this up? Oh, that's quite cheeky. So let's have a look. Better throw some more players up there. And they do need to work on this camera slightly. It jumps about. It's not too bad, but when you can't very easily see what's going on the pitch, it does come across as quite annoying. Let's have a look. Oh, right, double push, and I've run out of re-rolls, so that isn't one of the things that I get offered. It's this slightly bizarre circle again. Right, it's the Duke's turn. Yeah, the slightly bizarre circle, I'm not sure it's actually kind of needed. I mean, one of the things with Blood Bowl 3 is it does feel a bit more like a sports game. Blood Bowl 2 was a bizarre sports game that didn't really look or play like one. And I do think that the graphics on this are noticeably better. Right, there's a lot of Imperial Nobility. Oh, he put himself down on the floor again. Right, so let's see if we can take him down and free up the elf with the ball. Okay. Now the sound in the game has gone slightly fuzzy, which is not entirely unpleasant, but it's just the little things that we need to... Oh, he did that. There are a couple of things in this beta version that I really like clarity on, and one of them is the AI just completely rubbish, or have I suddenly got good at Blood Bowl? Because it does seem to be that I'm dodging very, very well indeed. So whether or not I'm playing the odds and managing risk as my mentor would like me to, or maybe it's just the fact that the AI hasn't been sorted out properly. I think, to be fair, I'd prefer it if I was demonstrating the fruits of all of my Blood Bowl labour. But then again, anybody that's played me in any of the leagues that I'm in, especially the Leicester Blood Bowl League, will know that I'm a perennial quarter-finalist. I do enjoy finishing in the top 4 of a league and losing in the quarter-final. I've turned it into quite an art form, and in the not too distant future I'll be playing in another Leicester Blood Bowl League quarter-final in Blood Bowl 2. This time against a Norse team with my undead, so we will have to wait and see how that goes. Right, so it would be a bit too cheeky to expect that I can steal the ball again on score before half time. 3.5 would be more than I've ever done before. Now, I do like the fact that when there's a turnover, there's absolutely no mistaking it at all. You are not going to miss out that huge red sign. Oh! Or that one. Yeah, that was quick. Not quite sure what happened there. Right, let's try and pick up the ball. Okay. No? Right. I'm not sure. But, right. Why is it not letting me pick up the ball? Have I discovered some form of glitch, or is it me simply not understanding what activation is? I mean, of course, this is using the Blood Bowl second season, or Blood Bowl 2020 rule set, which is different. Right, took myself out on the go for it. That is not necessarily the best thing that could have happened to me, but let's wait and see. Now the Nobility are having a bit of a think about it and a bit of a stretch. Can't fault them at all.
There's only one word to say about this ball. Not a word.
2-0. 2-0. A little animated scene there. I'm not really sure. As you can see the sides of the pitch there during half time, when you're playing Blood Bowl 2, it's really obvious how many are injured, how many are KO'd. So hopefully there'll be a decent replication of the dugouts. So substitute stroke reserves, undead, not undead, unconscious, and dead stroke sent off, because at the moment that doesn't seem to be the case, and a little bit of clarity there would be lovely. Now he's just absolutely maimed somebody. Have I maimed one of his then? it doesn't really follow logical progression at the minute. I'm sure it's just because it's a beta, and I've had a couple of sort of half games and got my head around how to play slightly, and I do really like it, but there's just a little bit more clarity that's needed, because as you can see there was a big injury sign. I think he ran at me, decided to take the injury and not re-roll it, but then again I've got nothing. It really shouldn't have done that. Part of me wants the AI to improve greatly so that it has selectable difficulties, and the other half of me likes the idea of putting 6 past a team. I mean, it is very similar to Blood Bowl 2. It is Blood Bowl. It is a sports simulation essentially with the Warhammer setting, and it just plays quite nicely, and it's like an updated version of an old car that you drive. You're kind of used to exactly what it should do, but it's got a few nice surprises, a few nice features to it. So when September comes along, I'm really quite looking forward to that. Hopefully the version released in September will be a bit smoother. It's slightly worrying me that the game should have been released in January 2021. This is the beta being released 6 months after the original vaunted release date, and it is in a state where if it was released like this, I think perhaps not the same level, but it would be another cyberpunk, as in the people who've been waiting for months if not years for it would turn on the developers. So hopefully in September we get something much better. Oh, he kicked me in the face. I'm not a big fan of that. So hopefully in September we get something better than this, and then more heading towards the final setting. One of the things I'd really, although in a beta it wouldn't have worked that well, I would have really liked to have seen the competition settings. So setting up a league, how that looks. Potentially they didn't do it because it was released for a week or so, and therefore if you did end up with particularly keen Blood Bowl players deciding to set up a Blood Bowl 3 league, all 20 players, and deciding to play 2 or 3 matches a day for 7 or 8 days, it potentially would have been carnage, especially with there only being 3 different teams. So Knockout, the Cabal Vision League, leagues that you can set up with your mates, all of that would have been amazing, just to get an idea of exactly how sociable you can be while playing Blood Bowl 3. We've got the ball again. We are being cheeky and running for the corner. Yeah, I do have those re-rolls. There we go. Oh, he threw the ball on the floor and then magically it appeared back in his hands. Bit of elven tomfoolery there. And we've got Johan the trumpeter blasting out some tunes in his fetching festive outfit and red tights. So there are 3 areas, whether or not those 3 areas are the reserves, apothecary tent, and people that ain't coming back, I'm not honestly sure, but it would be quite nice for a little bit of clarity there. Especially if you like playing bashy teams, like what I normally do, and that gives you an opportunity to have a look at exactly who you've maimed and whether or not they will be missing next game. Because as somebody that has developed a late in life love of Tomb King's teams, seeing the damage that you've unleashed on other people is one of my small pleasures in life. So they are on the offense. They are slowly murdering me and making a dash up the pitch. Let's see what I can do about this. They have left the ball slightly exposed in their mini cage down at the bottom of the pitch, so we'll have to throw some players that way and tie up some other players like this, and we'll have to see whether we can do a smash and grab on the mini cage itself. Yes, let's see where I can go. Oh, he made it. And let's see who else I can tie up. Right, we'll tie up him. Oh, I've still got my two throwers down at the bottom of the pitch, so we'll throw those up as well, just to keep everybody company. That could have been embarrassing, but luckily it wasn't, and we'll go for it a couple of times. No, it's all ending well. Exactly why I've ended up back at my end of the pitch again, I'm not quite sure. Right.
Fast and impossible to tackle. Love it.
Okay, so we've tied him up. I haven't got a clue how many players I've got left on the pitch. Oh, so he did fall over. He's got 2 rerolls left and 3 turns, but decided not to use it. I think that potentially would be an interesting bit of logic when it's programmed into the game. Just making the AI actually try and use rerolls. Because it does, at the minute in Blood Bowl 2, it does seem slightly bizarre when the AI chooses to use a reroll, and whether or not they can improve that slightly and make it a little more realistic, we shall have to wait and see. So here we go. Right, defender stumbles is good. We quite like that. Do we keep the result? Is that good?
Not up to much today.
Now, that did confuse me slightly, but never mind. Let's fire somebody up there. Avoid the dodging. He has now got the ball. We do have a couple of rerolls, so we're probably relatively safe. We're also 3-0 up. So let's have a look and see what we can do. It's quite strange playing an AI match like this because I don't really care about injuries. There's no league that my players are going to be carried off into. So it's just... Oh! Right.
Where's the nearest pie shop, Joe?
Slightly bizarre there. Little bit of protection for the ball carrier. Let's just do it. Throw the ball down and magically it's under his arm again. I do quite like that. I think that if each of the teams or each of the specific people has a kind of unique goal score stroke celebration stroke anything at all, that would be quite good. So there is my one cheerleader. I'm not sure what would happen if I hadn't bought that extra cheerleader at the start of the match. Would the centre spot be completely empty? Or by buying one, have I denied myself the chance to see 100 of them all in unison, tooting on their horns about how great the demo game demons are? Right, we've kicked it to the Dukes. It is the Duke's turn. Right, it does appear to be a pseudo-traditional cage they're building up. Here we go. Now, once again, there's missing string table entry in the little write-up in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen that you can see. So whether or not that explains these moves that just happen and change the layout of the game slightly, I am not sure. But we do have a 4-0 lead. There are only a couple of turns left.
That player's a little short. Oh no, my mistake. He's on the ground.
So let's get somebody on him. I've already blitzed, so we'll have to see what we can do. Now, we will have to wait and see. But in summary, I really like the look of Blood Bowl 3. There's a couple of slightly annoying things that are potentially just beta version issues with the AI, the AI not re-rolling, the AI making me look good, and the AI positioning. I think the AI needs quite a lot of work, to be honest. I like the look of it, the animations, the teams. One of the things that my mates have said is they all talk about the customization. They've all talked about what they intend to do with it as well. So I think when we've actually got a selection of teams, that will be entertaining. And the other thing I'm interested to see is how they release the game. Whether or not they decide to release I think I read this somewhere that they'll release one version with 12 players, 12 teams, and then when that's been released, at some point in the future there will be the Legendary Edition, as there was with Blood Bowl 2. So you'll buy the game, you'll have your 12 teams, potentially could be controversial which teams you do get with this, because would there be Pro-Elves, Wood Elves and Dark Elves? Would a quarter of the teams be Elf teams? Will it be tied in slightly more with some of the releases they've done? Will we get Snotlings? Or will they add the teams in separately, so that Snotlings will be one that you have to buy to be able to play as an individual? I've got more questions than answers. I really have. I'm far too excited by it, and it's just all looking very good at the minute. I've never really studied a beta this much, but Blood Bowl 2 is the game that I would think I've played more than any other. So Blood Bowl 3 has really intrigued me. Cyanide seems to have done a really good job, but it will be the final product, which we are all waiting for, and then we will have to wait and see. And it's one of the few games I can see myself buying straight away as soon as it is released. Will there be special editions? It's meant to be a kind of a decent title for the next gen consoles as well. and I know that in various places, sort of like game, you do get extra teams. Oh, there's my team doing some flick flacks. Match finished. So here's the summary. So when the game's released, will there be a limited edition one? Will there be one that features Varag Ghoul Chewer? And if you don't buy the sort of limited edition one when it comes out, will you get bonus strips, bonus anything at all? Let's have a look. So you can see the results there. SPP, there is SPP given. They don't appear to have it because you can see it's on 0 at the moment, so that'll be something else that needs doing. Character development. I know that in Blood Bowl 2020 you do get the option of taking random skills rather than picking them, so you can roll. No, it is all very good. I'm very excited about it. I know some people have been a bit negative, but I just love a bit of Blood Bowl. So thank you for joining me. I've been Blood Bowl Grud, and I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon.